Jean-Paul Sartre's The Imaginary, a phenomenological psychology of the imagination, explores the nature and structure of imagination, distinguishing it sharply from perception and highlighting its role in human consciousness. Sartre begins by challenging the traditional view of imagination as merely a reproduction or copy of sensory experience. Instead, he proposes that imagination is an intentional act of consciousness that creates a new, non-existent reality. When we imagine, we are not perceiving a copy of the world, but actively constructing an image that is fundamentally distinct from the real. This act of imagining, he argues, involves a conscious withdrawal from the actual world, allowing the mind to create an intentional object that is not physically present. Sartre further discusses the ways in which imaginary objects differ from those in the physical world. While perceptions are tied to the here and now and rely on sensory input, imaginary objects are free from these constraints, existing purely within the mind's grasp. They are not constrained by time, space, or causality, making them infinitely malleable. This freedom of imagination, according to Sartre, illustrates its role as a creative and liberating force. By engaging in the act of imagination, individuals can transcend the limitations of the real world, experimenting with alternate possibilities and realities, which has significant implications for human freedom. Sartre also delves into the role of images in understanding and interpreting the world. He explains that imagination plays a vital role in conceptual thinking, enabling us to grasp abstract ideas and make sense of things beyond our immediate perception. Images and symbols allow individuals to create meaning, connecting the visible with the invisible and the tangible with the abstract. Sartre points out that imagination is not just about visual imagery, but encompasses a broader ability to symbolize, allowing us to understand and relate to the world on a deeper level. However, the imaginary also reveals the limitations and illusions inherent in imagination. Sartre warns that while imagination offers freedom, it can also become a means of escape, detaching us from reality. People might retreat into the imaginary world to avoid the challenges and responsibilities of real life, thereby hindering their engagement with reality. Sartre emphasizes the importance of recognizing this dual aspect of imagination as both a tool for freedom and a potential trap for alienation. Ultimately, Sartre's work underlines the complex relationship between imagination and existence. Imagination allows individuals to transcend the immediate world, envision new possibilities, and transform reality through creativity. Yet, it also highlights the tension between the imaginary and the real, reminding us that while imagination is powerful, it is not a substitute for authentic engagement with the world. Sartre urges us to balance the freedom of imagination with the responsibilities of living in the real world. Life lessons from the imaginary. Imagination as a tool for freedom. Imagination is not merely a passive faculty, it is an active creative force that allows individuals to explore new possibilities and transcend the limitations of the real world. By using imagination constructively, one can envision alternatives and cultivate a sense of freedom. The importance of conscious engagement. Sartre's work emphasizes that imagination is a conscious act. Being mindful of how and why we use our imagination can lead to greater self-awareness and intentionality in life. It invites us to examine whether we use imagination as a means of creating or as an escape. Balancing imagination with reality. While imagination can offer an escape from the constraints of the real world, it is crucial to remain connected to reality. A healthy balance between envisioning possibilities and engaging with real-life responsibilities ensures that imagination remains a constructive and liberating force rather than a source of alienation. The power of symbolism and interpretation. Imagination enables individuals to create meaning through symbols and abstract images. This capacity allows for deeper understanding and connection with the world, teaching us that the power of interpretation is essential for making sense of life's complexities. Imagination and authenticity. Imagination, when aligned with our authentic desires and values, can be a powerful tool for self-transformation. However, Sartre cautions that relying on imagination alone, without engaging with real experiences, can lead to inauthenticity. Living authentically involves integrating imagination with real-world actions and choices.